everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Loudwire Podcast. I'm Graham.
I'm Joe.
How you doing, Joe?
Pretty good, Graham. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, Joe. Thanks. And today, we have two awesome guests. First, the drummer of Meshuggah, Tomas Haake.
Hauke.
Apparently, we pronounced his name fairly well when we spoke to him. And we had another special guest that came to us last minute.
Surprise.
Jessica Pimentel. And if you don't know who she is...
She is from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
Don't tell us you haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, she's one of the baddest characters in that show, especially season 4. Check that out. So when I heard that she was just going to be coming in with Thomas, I absolutely flipped out. Like, being excited about Meshuggah, obviously, but when we told, Jessica Pimentel's coming, I absolutely lost it. I fanboyed out
Seemed a little
tremendously.
Meshuggah in itself, didn't it?
Oh, there you go.
There's
Tying
the
it back.
pun.
There you go. And today's rocker versus writer topic, a really tough one.
Very tough. Almost impossible. Actually, probably impossible. But we gave it a shot anyway.
Yeah, it is the battle between thrash drummers. Who is the greatest thrash drummer ever? Is it Dave Lombardo or is it Gene Hoglan?
I don't know if we're ever going to arrive at the answer to that question.
I don't know. We'll see. But Tomas Haake is going to take the side of Hoglan. Joe
will be taking the side of Dave Lombardo.
All right. It's the Loudwire Podcast. Sit down
and shout. That's my best Dio.
All right, Loudwire Podcast here, and we've got two awesome guests. First of all, from Meshuggah, Tomas Haake. I think I could.
Hello.
Yeah. that was like the Zach Wilde intro that we had the other day. And from Orange is the New Black, Jessica Pimentel. You know her because she ran the joint in season 4.
I haven't seen season 4 yet.
No, it's not a spoiler. She ran the joint. Not literally. She didn't become the warden, but yeah, you're a total badass in that season. So we're so happy to have you both here.
Yeah, everyone's seen that season already, so it's not a spoiler.
It's
by
not a
by this
spoiler
time,
anymore.
it's not a spoiler.
Nah, everyone's been on
I
it.
like to wait 1 week. I give it 1 week, and then I say that's it. It's like,
If you haven't seen the whole season yet, you're not just interested enough, I guess.
Yeah,
I started
good way of putting
watching
it.
right before season 4 came out, not even knowing that season 4 was coming out. So I watched the 3 seasons, and I was like, I need a little bit of a break to digest everything before I just start marathoning another season.
right.
So
you did 3 kind of back to back.
Yeah, real quick.
Well,
He's exhausted from
Yeah, but
television.
Yeah, I'm still out of breath.
we are
from laying down.
exhausting show to watch. I think, especially season 4 was pretty exhausting.
that was an intense
That's
that's how
season.
you do it, though. You're doing it right, man.
Mm-hmm.
You're like just
I'm savoring
just
it.
binge watch it.
Binge,
Like
absolutely.
3, 4, 5 seasons. That's perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, yesterday we got the news that Jessica, you were coming in, so we're we're already excited about Thomas, and then I hear you're coming in, I'm like, yay! So it's so great, but it was also it's like why is she coming in with Thomas? So what's the affiliation here?
You weren't aware.
I've looked all online. I'm not
See, I
aware of
told
this
you.
affiliation.
Yeah, she's
We're pretty good at keeping it kind of to ourselves, but
yeah.
we've been an item for some time now.
Beautiful, wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
a year and a half. We're coming up on 2 years. Almost a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So it's funny because when I was looking, I found an article, Jessica, that you had written a while back, of the 5 hottest metal musicians.
And that is what got it
for
started.
for a little site, and of course Thomas was on
He
that
was
list.
on that web. Yeah, he was on the list. I'm sure he was on the site, and he's like, "Yes, I'm going for it."
Yeah, right.
Is
You're
that what
right.
happened?
No,
No.
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
You could've lied.
Yeah.
We could have cleared it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Oh
right.
man, yeah, we should have.
Well,
Yeah, we should have cleared that up.
Well, how did you two meet?
Actually, we met many years ago. The first time you used to come out to shows and we'd hang out and talk a little bit. And whenever we played in New York, she knew actually one of our guitarists, Morten. She kind of knew him, had a little bit of contact with him before I got to know her. And then like in 2012 or something was kind of the first time that we really kind of just hung out and talked for a while. It was never like anything, not even flirtatious or anything at that time. That was a later thing.
Absolutely no flirtatious vibe. For he was super gentleman and respectful, and I appreciated that he spoke to me like an individual, a person. He wasn't trying to hit on me or
no, I was just more intrigued like her because she's Buddhist and there's
my booty.
Like,
what?
Yeah, I heard that.
She's a booty.
I'm a bootyist.
She's a Buddhist.
Is that what happened, babe?
Yeah, no, it's just my the actual like mechanism for how my English language works just shut off there for a second.
You just
No, but
saw
the
booty.
like the Buddhist, her Buddhist take on things and being in metal. So I kind of knew her before the Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, before the show even happened.
So and even like the first year that show was out, I wasn't really aware of the show or anything. So it was more like a common ground as far as like the music that we were interested in and stuff like that.
Things.
Yeah.
Very, very much alike. Very scarily to a point.
Right. And by now it's like it's just ridiculous. Like there's so many like similarities, like little things that we'll do just the same way.
Exactly the same. First time he came over, he laughed because we had all of our things in our houses are exactly in the same places. We use the same products. It's just like, well, it's kind of some bizarro.
Yeah, the first time we sat down like on our couch or whatever, we both placed the same, like the left leg on this exact same way on the right leg. We both took a pillow and put it like on our lap and just sat down and we just saw that and we just burst out laughing like this is ridiculous. And since then it's just been kind of picking up. It's just more and more like
just everything all the time. We just very much in sync and in tune and kind of understand each other in a way that I don't think other people understand. We're weirdos.
Yeah.
And we kind of get each other, so it's very nice to find your weirdo.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe every couple says that. It's like, I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah, but it's still true for us though, regardless of whether other people actually say that too.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's the amazing thing with life.
Now, Thomas, since you read a lot of lyrics, philosophical existentialism, Buddhism has a lot of ties in just deep philosophy. Do you have like at-length discussions about the lyrics together?
No.
No?
No, not at all.
No. And as far as like the Buddhist teachings and everything, that's something that I don't really. I will ask her little things, and she'll tell me some whatever if I'm interested, she will obviously tell me about it. But at the same time, it's something that I kind of, at this point in time at least, that's her thing. She does that, and we don't really necessarily have to discuss that at length. Basically.
And any questions he'll ask, I'll gladly answer. But I don't feel that I'm the kind of person that wants to force my viewpoint, my beliefs on someone else. If they're curious, they'll come. They'll find it. He'll ask. The books are there. The books are right at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that either. I wouldn't be comfortable if someone tried to like push it on.
Because that's the whole path is your own path. So that's the kind of the whole point. But most of Alekhine's Guns lyrics are based on Buddhist texts and meditations and actual books that exist and their interpretations of ancient teachings on meditation and mind training.
So lyrically, you guys are both at the same headspace. Well, as far as
he's a little
that
more.
came out
a little bit.
Yeah, they came out.
No, but I know I get what you see.
Something about we're not writing about like like the girl around the corner, motorcycles.
Exactly.
I kind of want to write about
motorcycles. Although we might do that later. Actually, you know what? Let's do it.
I love motorcycles.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So, see, now we're gonna write a motorcycle.
I'm gonna write about a Tesla car for the next
Tesla.
album.
Yes, tomorrow.
Got to get an endorsement from Elon Musk.
Yes, Mr. Musk, please. If you're hearing us, we live very close to the Tesla factory.
Give us shit.
We can be there whenever you want. I would like to have my first car be one of yours.
Oh, that's so cute.
Because I can't drive and it has autopilot. I don't have a driver's license. Yes.
So for the Meshuggah's new album, The Violent Sleep of Reason, I know that film and books and philosophy play a big part in the lyrics that you write. So for this record, are there any books or films or other pieces of inspiration that you took for this one specifically?
No, not so much. Like
Orange is the New Black.
Not specifically, I wouldn't say. But
the last 3 songs are all about Netflix.
Yeah, and the prison industrial complex.
There you go. Yeah,
that's pretty. Mellow.
Yeah. What's the name of that? The computer in person of interest. I direct my prayers to that computer sometimes, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that has anything.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how that has anything to do with the lyrics right now.
No.
So I just kind of took a sideways kind of leap here. Yeah, books. Unfortunately, I read less and less.
Sure.
I think a lot of people right now. So in a sense, like I watch more and more series, and that's kind of taken over. I just eat it up, and unfortunately I do read less and less. But the last book, I will say that definitely had like a direct, like very much at least an inspiration for me for the writing of the lyrics on this album was Christopher Hitchens' God Is Not Great.
Yes, I'm a big Hitch fan.
Yeah, so unfortunately he's not around anymore, but
yes.
Yeah, great author and a very sound mind, and to me one of the great writers when it comes to questioning like the religious kind of how that whole structure fits into reality and into politics today, and how kind of scary that is. So
he was vicious as a debater too. He was vicious. He pulled no punches, and I don't know if you've read.
Makes Dawkins look like a little girl.
I've read Dawkins too, and he's good. But you're right. Like Dawkins does not have he did not have like the same bile coming up through him. You know what I mean?
He's not as visceral.
Yeah.
No, and then Hitch, who wrote, he was writing a book right before he passed away called Mortality, which is a very, very short book, but about him dealing with his upcoming mortality as he knew that he was going to face it. Yeah. So if you get the chance, it's a really, really great book. I would recommend that. It's an emotional read.
And that book, God Is Not Great, that's the one book I think I ever read where you finish the last page and I just immediately started over. I just had to read it. Like the whole thing. I just read it whole through once over, So that's something about that book,
For sure.
Yep.
Wow. Now, we were talking earlier before about the surgery that you've had. You've said that like surgery can't really fix nerve damage. For some issues that you had with your right foot would kind of swivel. And I was reading that you actually were even considering finding a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, at the time when it happens, you're like, okay, this is it. I had a good run, but, that's like losing your left hand if you're a guitarist. You're like, well, that's thanks. And,
Now, with Meshuggah's music, obviously your drumming is incredibly complex, and there's got to be a smaller pool of drummers to choose from who would really be capable of playing that kind of music.
Obviously, yeah.
Did you have anyone specific in mind?
No, I mean, I never really got that far as to thinking of specific like drummers, but there's definitely people, that could do it. But that's just the one aspect of it. If that would have been the case, if it was like if the damage had been so great that I couldn't like come back from it, it's so many other factors too, like because the other guys in the band have to deal with this. Yeah, this is like someone who has to kind of fit into that.
Not just being able to play, it's the whole dynamic.
It's so much that kind of comes with that. So of course, and that with every kind of aspect of it, the narrower that spectrum of possible drummers get. So I'm glad we didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, to me, yeah, exactly.
Me too.
Yeah, to me, the only drummer I could ever picture like filling in your spot's a guy like Danny Carey, who is just very good at working independently with his limbs and using polyrhythms. And I was actually speaking with Tool, one of Tool's reps the other day, and he was telling me about how Danny still practices so much and still is learning like all these Middle Eastern tabla patterns and stuff like that. And I was kind of like, Danny Carey still takes lessons? Like, what doesn't he know? But then obviously everyone is always still getting better and there's always more to learn. So for you, Thomas, what is there still to learn, or what have you been learning lately?
Actually, not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
Right.
No, to be completely honest, like you have some drummers like we were mentioning Kenny Grahowski earlier, and he's one of those drummers.
New York drummers,
extremely,
extremely versatile. He played salsa with his, family at Lincoln Center.
And
last
he'll play
week.
Metal in the same evening and whatever.
And then go do like Hipster Assassins or something.
So I see drummers like that are really like kind of infused in music all the time, and they have to like they live and breathe that,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of drummers that are like that. If they're not playing with a band, they will still like go and practice and go through the motions at least, but they will like be practicing on things like constantly and just trying to just better themselves. And for me at this point in time, it's more like when I have time off, I want to be off. I don't want to I don't have that urge to play drums anymore. I don't have to. I don't get like nervous if I hadn't played drums in 2 weeks. I could go for months, and it's like I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I read you said like you even took like a year without even drumming.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I won't even do it. But so I mean, it depends on, of course, your headspace. What do you want? What are you doing with your music and so on? And by now, of course, we were fortunate enough to take the music from a hobby level. Then you start making money off of it. And today it's work. So it's not really your hobby anymore, right? We're just fortunate people that we were able to make the hobby the main source of income. But that's what it is now. So like anyone with a job that is not necessarily like the only thing you want in life, you're gonna, when you have vacation, you're gonna not come back. You're not gonna come into work.
No way.
So that's kind of how I function. That's my take on kind of on music and drumming as well. So with that said, that means that I don't really get better. I dip down when I'm off, and then I try to kind of get back up to the same level that I was before I dropped off. And so you kind of go like that. So I don't really see myself getting better, but at the same time, with each album, you learn something new. So I mean, your repertoire and I guess your mind, in a sense, gets richer and richer over the years with the kind of information you have in there. But at the same time, I'm not really working to better myself. It's one of those traits, you either have it or you don't, and I wish I did, because it would make my life easier in a lot of ways when you don't have the dips, because it's pretty hard to come back from when you've
anything,
like
going
anything,
to the gym or whatever. So once you stop,
exactly.
It's just
If you go to the gym, you want to stay there, because
there was one day I was in the living room and I hadn't jammed in a while, and I'm playing and I'm like, I sound like a child, and I threw it down because I hadn't been playing for a while, because shooting, when I get home, I don't want to play anymore. I don't have the time or the inspiration. I got to feel that feeling to play, and then it's late, and then and I finally had a moment, and it had been so long and it wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to come out, so I just threw a hissy fit and screw your guitar. I hate you, guitar, and I put it down, and we stormed out.
You should have broken that guitar
at
that point.
It's nice. It was the V. It was a flying V. I wasn't gonna do it.
You can never break a flying V.
Never.
It's on stage.
No, not even that. No.
Yeah, no, they're too nice.
They're too nice.
All right, let's get into some rocker versus writer versus actor slash rocker as well.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A whole bunch of different verses here. Versus. Do you say versus here?
Versus.
Oh yeah.
Versatize.
Is it with the AES at the end? Oh, thank you.
Versatize.
Why not? Well,
Versatize.
today's topic is the greatest thrash drummer ever. Thomas from Meshuggah will be taking the Atomic Clock, Gene Hoglan, while Joe from Loudwire.com will be taking Dave Lombardo.
Oh. Ooh, yeah, Dave.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's not much versus there, because we'll just shake hands and we can go home.
Yeah.
Those were the two I was kind of like, it's Dave or it's Gene. You know?
I think it's the obvious too. To me,
yeah. And it's
I think that's the answer. It's Dave or it's Gene. So there you go.
So podcast done.
Yeah, right.
But it's interesting because those guys are like cut from the exact same cloth. They're both self-taught, and Gene was like roadieing for Slayer.
Yep.
And he gave Dave a couple tips on the double bass. I guess he was saying that he went to some shop and was like, I want to play double bass like this. I want that sound. He's like, well, you need two kick drums. And he didn't have it, so he was like, practice with your left foot on the hi-hat and your right foot on the kicks. That way you could at least get the pattern down.
Yeah.
And then when he got behind his first kit with double bass, it was actually Dave Lombardo's, and he got behind there and just started hammering out kicks. And Lombardo's like, what the hell's going on? Like, how'd you learn that? So I guess he gave him some tips there, and then.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. I mean, he was young too. Like with Dark Angel, like he was when he started with that band. He wasn't old. I mean, he was probably like.
He wasn't old.
I mean, weren't we all old all the time? Like, no, he must have been like 15 years or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and Dave is killing it right now with Suicidal. I mean, jaw-droppingly, they opened for Megadeth. We all know what happened before Megadeth played with you guys outside in the street.
You can see that on our YouTube channel. On
the Megadeth Crowd Control.
Megadeth Crowd Control, yes.
What was that? Is that something I missed completely, or what happened?
It was
or are we not going to talk
just
about
like
it?
an on the street sort of segment.
They were out. They were out asking people before the Megadeth show certain kind of random questions, and I happened to walk by. And I answered the questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a whole lot of people, and it's a great video. But no offense to anyone in Megadeth.
Yeah, but that's meaning what you were saying with Dave but
going to see Suicidal. That energy was unbelievable. I mean the band is incredible, of course. Psycho Michael is always on point. He knows how to rule the crowd. Rod Diaz on bass, my fellow Spectre endorsement mate. He's amazing, but Dave is just like, that's so good to see him play that.
No,
it's
I
like back
mean,
to
they
your
always
roots.
had what's his name,
love.
Kirk, the old drummer. He was always on point. He was super awesome drummer. I would love to see Dave do that though.
Yeah,
I didn't see this myself.
It was almost like tears to my eyes. It was just so good to see him in that groove, that youthful kind of just rebellious. Skateboard bandana.
And he's a perfect fit.
And he was perfect.
Because he does a lot of stuff where he does a downstroke on an upbeat, and that's perfect for Suicidal Tendencies too. Because their music's always really bouncy. Like they had a new song, Clap Like Ozzy. It's just all about having fun.
Yeah.
So you get the downstroke on the upbeat, and it gets that nice bouncy vibe.
And he's classy. He's a classy player. He's classy.
Yeah.
I like it. I like his feel. He never overdoes things. Some drummers overplay. It's like, shh, dude, chill out. You can play. I get it. He never overplays. Thomas never overplays. Some people just want to show everything they can do at once, but he's always classy. He always plays exactly what needs to be played.
Well, if we're going to...
he's good like that, Dave. But that same thing goes for Dave Lombardo or for Gene Hoglan, though. I mean, we're doing the verses here. I mean,
I forgot.
Okay,
yeah.
I gave every credit in the world and all the accolades to Dave for all that he's done with Slayer and so on. But then again, Gene Hoglan, individual thought patterns, symbolic.
Yes.
All the things that he did with Strapping Young Lad,
that Alien record
Death Clock,
is crazy.
Alien, The New Black and Alien, those albums. I mean, come on, it's just get on your knees and bow to the metal king of drums. That's just because. I mean, I saw him very recent, it's less than a year ago with
We're having some technical difficulties here. This thing got to slide up. Is what it is.
Yeah, I saw him a year ago with the Death Wall in Stockholm, and he just nailed it. Those old Death songs, he just nailed it. And we were up on a balcony, so I had a perfect view of him, and it was just effortless. And I actually right as they're done, I walked downstairs, and he just comes off the stage and I meet up with him and it's like, oh, hey buddy, how you doing? And the guy, seriously, he wasn't even sweaty. He had done like
yeah, he was so mad about that.
Like he had done like an
sweaty.
hour, 20 minutes of death songs from like that area, like
and
individual thought pattern,
good.
symbolic. That's and he's
hair's
not
perfect.
even. He doesn't even break a sweat. It's like you MF. You what? Like I just you just get I just get pissed off, But he's tremendous. We were up there, a whole bunch of drummers watching him play that night, and everyone just felt the same way. It's like,
he's very versatile.
He's great.
Wow,
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that both Lombardo and Hoglan have played in Testament. Hoglan's in the band now, and Lombardo played on the appropriately titled The Gathering.
My favorite.
And
Your favorite.
that's your favorite?
My favorite Testament record.
It's up there for me. I used to play lacrosse, and I would put on like 4 songs from The Gathering.
Hold on now. I think we gotta take it. Let's just. You used to play lacrosse.
Yeah.
All right.
I like hitting people with sticks.
Now's the time when the secrets come out.
I
played
just had to make
defense.
sure. Just making sure.
Yeah, I played defense. I hit people with a 6-foot metal stick.
Well,
So do
if you
I.
make it
I
sound,
mean, I do that also. So
maybe it's
I would
something. Could you stop messing with that thing?
it's just bothering me. It's like.
But I would always put on like 4 songs from The Gathering because they would just get me pumped and just want to like murder people.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of that was Lombardo's drumming. He is just furious on that. And like what Hoglan brought on Dark Roots of Earth was like I was actually talking to Alex Skolnick about this. Like it widened the scope of Testament's sound where he's got the blast beats and everything, and he's bringing in even like a more aggressive style. What Lombardo does is he plays very aggressive. He hits the drums. He hits
very
the drums.
hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Graham, I think you were saying like what he actually restrains himself.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see him when they played in Grip Inc., and I got to sit behind that kit for a few nights in a row, and he's no joke. Just the sheer force of how he hits will make your ears ring if you're anywhere close by.
But Gene is an equally hard hitter, but he just uses it more. I think. Sorry, Dave, but Gene has a little more refined technique maybe than you do, because that guy has perfect like Mueller stroke technique. Like he doesn't need to put a lot of effort into it. I mean, he's got way better technique. Both those guys got way better technique than I do, both for hitting snares and toms and for kick drums, everything. So they both have excellent technique. But Gene to me has like that. He's got that perfect like snare hit technique that is
snappy.
It's like it's like Mueller stroke. It's just like it's like a singular flow kind of. It just makes, without effort, it just whacks the hell out of that drum, and it's like the loudest hit you've ever heard, without using effort. So it's we're doing verses here, so we got even though it's the two best drummers in metal, definitely you still got to do. Yeah, we got to choose sides here. I would prefer not to, because I don't
think you should.
Yeah. I kind of want to cuddle with both those guys at the same time.
Yeah, he wants to be the center of a
metal drummer threesome, baby. Yeah.
Oh boy,
metal drummer sandwich.
Who would be on the left and who would be on the right?
It does not matter at that point. At that point,
as long as he's in the middle.
I would love to be Gene Hoglan's little spoon.
We need a shirt.
Yeah.
But one thing I really like about Lombardo's playing is that he's got this kind of reckless, nervous energy to it, which like it's unbridled character, and which is really good for thrash because like sometimes you want that raw, kind of loose, unhinged sound.
Oh yeah.
And the way like I could kind of best describe it is like, when like if you're running downhill so fast, like your body goes ahead of your feet and you just tumble end over end. He sounds like he's always about to go end over end, but he never does.
He's so happy.
No, I get what you mean, and I agree. He does have that kind of raw energy, and his drum, like a tom fill works. It's like
his fills are so imaginative.
Sometimes you feel like nervous almost, but he always nails it. But it does have that quality to it. Whereas I would say, maybe in that sense, Gene is a little more controlled. And it doesn't sound like it's just very controlled a lot of times. It's just really on top of everything.
Lombardo's
and it
double
sounds
kick.
like that.
Lombardo's double kick, Phil, an Angel of Death. I mean,
it
doesn't get better.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Suspending everything.
It's so good.
Last time I saw him do that, it was flawless. Not only that, he kept it going forever, and he's just looking out over the stage right, like looking at his own watch, like.
he's like answering phone calls and texting.
Yeah, he's just like laughing and smiling at people outside of the stage at this festival, and I was like, yeah, I can go like this forever.
No big deal.
Oh,
So he probably, I don't know, it must have been at least like 40, 50 seconds or something. He just kept just going. Yeah, so
He's going for the kicks per minute record. Nobody knows.
Exactly.
How about when it comes to this debate, how about something like redefining style and virtuosity? Because I think when it comes to just that argument itself, I think Dave Lombardo is probably a little more dynamic, because you see him doing the stuff with Slayer, but then you'll see him do a different style in Phantomas and a different style in Film. And I don't know if you've heard the new band Dead Cross, but it's some of the nastiest, dirtiest metal influenced hardcore that I've heard in a long time. Like,
well, I haven't heard that.
It's absolutely amazing, and he just
feral.
fits every band that he is in so perfectly. Whereas I think Gene is brilliant, but he brings himself, just like the Gene signature style.
Yeah, the atomic clock is here, dude. So
The atomic clock, yeah.
Get ready,
It ticks the same way every
it's
time.
gonna sound like this.
Yeah.
No, I'll give you that. Maybe that. You know, I don't know if that's because Gene maybe lacks that, or let me not use that bad connotation word.
Keep going. You're helping me out.
He's like that. He just does like the death metal kind of thrash and death metal.
He's
and
perfect
really
at his style.
He's extremely
it's okay
perfect
to be good
at
at something, one thing, and not everything.
Yeah.
Very true.
If you're the best at it, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, he's like a fully loaded 18-wheeler going downhill at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming at you.
Yeah.
He's like
No,
the
but
bus in
I
Speed.
can see that could possibly be the case. I've never seen Gene really do anything else but metal. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. He's got that something that just makes it extremely metal when he plays.
Yes.
It's just like with Death Clock or whatever. It's just, come on, dude.
So
It's
good.
just metal over the top metal, and his drumming definitely is one of the key ingredients to make it into that. But of course, Dave Lombardo is equally.
It's a very tough.
This is like the hardest verses ever.
I just kind of want to sigh and do like those sounds all the time. Like, they're both so awesome.
No one said it'd be easy, that's for sure. Jess, I know that you're a Megadeth fan because we ran into you on the street at a Megadeth show.
Suicidal.
Oh, you're there for Suicidal? That's right. Oh, but who's your favorite?
Luckily, you whispered that, and
no one will hear that.
No,
I really went. I mean, I love Megadeth. They had all the hits, everything. Maybe it's just I'm older now and jaded. I don't.
No, it's different styles.
But it's just a different feeling than when you were younger. That just hasn't kind of translated. But the hits are still the hits. They're still good.
Yeah.
Pie.
And
we love all that. We love all those.
And no, yeah.
But there's an energy that's kind of not there anymore, and I don't know if it's because of changing members or just
age
or
like
if
30
it's
years
me,
into
if it's
it.
then or.
But
or
at the
them,
same
but-
time, that's funny that you should mention that, because that would be my like third choice after those two guys. Like, what, as far as the best metal drummers in the world, the guy that's playing with him right now, Dirk Verburen, formerly from Soilwork.
From Soilwork,
that's also one of the. I mean, he's not metal. He doesn't maybe bring that sense, but he's a very groovy, swinging. Even at blast beat tempos, it's like swinging. You want to dance to a blast beat, like that guy can do that. So that he's, for me, definitely like top 5 metal drummers in the world today. Absolutely. Wow. So Dirk who's now with Megadeth. So congratulations on that gig to him. But yeah, he's great at that.
And grooves are not an easy thing either. It's kind of like either you have it or you don't.
Groove is the hardest thing there
very
is,
hard. You
and
can't
especially especially to a click track too. That takes a lot of. You got to have it first of all, I guess, and then a lot of practicing to be able to do that.
Lombardo has a very keen sense of groove in his playing.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt.
And it's like Gene Hoglan, like we said, he's the freight train. He's coming at you 100 miles an hour, like a little bit less groove. I mean, he knows how to swing in some parts and everything.
Oh yeah,
Obviously,
that guy swings.
Fantastic drummer.
Come on, guys.
But,
he swings like a son of a bitch.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Rocker versus Writer, everybody. Let us know what you think in the comment section below.
Yeah, you try picking between Gene Hoglan and
know.
Dave.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
so
if you guys think it's
rough.
that easy,
really hard. Absolutely.
it's a tough one.
Yeah. So let's finish up the interview with a couple of topics. Have you seen the Ronnie James Dio hologram?
That debuted at Wacken.
I saw pictures of it, and I couldn't bring myself to investigate any further.
I have
kind
not
of
even heard of it. No.
Wanted to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Okay,
What-
well, it debuted at Wacken, and Dio Disciples brought it out on stage like
For the encore.
Yeah.
We Rock.
like Tupac style, like wave, from back
like
then.
Michael Jackson. They
But
did
this
one
was
with
the-
Michael Jackson. They did one with
Yeah, they
Tupac.
did one with Michael.
But
Yeah.
this is the first time they did it with a live band.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel
All
about
right.
all that.
No, of course.
I don't think that's.
What's-
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Mixed feelings, though, right? It's like it's kind of
yeah,
cool.
it's a little bit mixed feelings, maybe, but at the same time,
Let people die. Let dead people die.
I don't know.
Then you got to.
Except
I don't
Ronnie.
know, but I mean,
Yeah,
like, what's the?
except maybe Ronnie James Dio.
But then
though.
the vocals are
Like,
hand recorded, right?
Are we actually
Yeah.
gonna
They're-
let this guy die?
No,
Are we actually
he-
gonna say,
As
okay,
if he died.
he's gone?
He just transformed.
I think we should not accept that he's gone in a sense. So I'm all for it.
He
actually.
metamorphized to
Yeah.
light,
into light.
literally.
Yeah.
Well, they are talking about taking this hologram out on tour.
Oh man!
And it's interesting because they
I
have
don't know, man.
they
Does the
have live
hologram get a
interaction.
salary?
I'm sure someone.
And does the hologram need money to do
The
this?
hologram's people.
You
What's
don't
his
have to
per
pay the
diem?
hologram, no.
Yeah.
What's his per diem?
Does the hologram eat?
Yeah, what's on the hologram's
Well,
tour
light.
rider?
I think light just eats light.
I guess.
Or
But does
no,
it,
light eats the darkness.
I would guess then that light would also fart light, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But does light make
I
wind?
mean, didn't he at some point even write about that? And it's something about.
Well,
like,
he's a rainbow in the dark now, for real.
Yeah, but there's. I
yes.
mean, you can see the stripes on the tiger, but you know it's clean, right?
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, but you know it's.
And I don't know what he means when he's
I-
talking about that.
I came
Yeah.
I
across
don't
it
see what
recently.
you mean.
I have no clue.
I
and
came-
it does not matter. I don't think
It
you're
doesn't
supposed.
matter. I
You're
don't
not
think you're
supposed
not
to
supposed to know.
understand Ronnie James Dio's lyrics. And just accept them for the beauty that they are.
I did come across the meaning of that line the
You
other
did?
day with Dio explaining it. I don't know where I found it from. I've been
How-
looking for
how
half my
did-
life. He said, when you look at a
I
tiger,
don't know what's worse, that you're looking for it or you've been looking for it for half your life.
oh, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
Oh, you just got prison shanked.
Oh no, I'll own up to it. I
Wow.
was inconsolable when Dio died. I don't care. I shed a tear when I
I'm
saw the
sure you
hologram.
did.
But he was saying that in the wild, a tiger can only be a tiger. It cannot be camouflage. You know exactly what you're looking at. So if you see somebody who's kind of representative of those qualities, you know what they mean and that they're clean. It's a safe kind of environment, I guess, so to speak.
Okay.
I still don't know. What
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, are tigers? I mean, what do you mean it's safe to see a tiger? I thought if you see
Well,
tigers,
you know
run.
somebody's not deceiving you.
Oh, because they're like leopard never changes his spots, and a tiger
Exactly.
always
Yeah.
shows his stripes.
Yeah.
There we go. We got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It took us 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But one thing about the hologram, though, is that it has live interaction with the crowd built
That's
into
weird.
it. They based it off of a certain live performance. So there's
Yeah.
interaction with the crowd. Let me hear you. And
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't think it's like acceptable maybe for every rocker who's passed, but just for Ronnie and just like the magic
Yeah.
behind all of it. It just
I mean, it kind of
feels
makes
wrong
sense.
that we
If
don't
it's
have
him,
him.
if it's him and his
Yeah.
persona, but I don't.
To a certain degree, also, I think that you're going to have the effect of once it's done, you know, when they've done it for him, like, you're not going to see a whole lot of bands, like, lining up to use their old past members that are
dead
passed
members.
on.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
I think it's
obviously,
like,
because it's also, like, one of those new things. It's really cool because you haven't really seen it before other than, like, Michael Jackson, like you said, and maybe some other things. But Ronnie James, I guess, is the one you would do for. I don't necessarily see it something you would bring out on tour and like do on a nightly basis. It feels like one of those things like you kind of celebrate his life or his career or whatever in music by kind of doing that maybe once. But I guess it
like
could
a
be
little
a
too
tour.
kitschy.
I guess it could be a tour too. But the more you're already aware of it, I guess the more you it turns into something else.
It just seems like a pop culture. It seems diminutive of what they've done. I mean, I know it's hopefully. I mean, I can't say I know, but hopefully it's a good intent to kind of celebrate who they are and what they are. But I think continuing something like that for too long kind of diminishes that the real person.
We could also hope that the intent was actually just
to
pure
make tons
evil.
of money.
No, just pure evil.
Well, I mean, somebody's making money.
That's something he wrote about a lot.
Someone's making money off it. It's not like people are like doing this for free. Well, someone's got to be making a buck.
This is by now speculation, though. We don't actually know this.
Well, let's look at it from a different angle. How about people who have been mourning the loss of Ronnie for the last 6 years? How many of those people are going to take drugs, go and weep with joy that Ronnie James Dio is back from the crypt, singing for them?
I think the more of a diehard fan you are, for a lot of people, that's going to just make that harder. Whereas I think a huge festival crowd are going to be overjoyed to see a spectacle. Let me use that word. To see a spectacle like that. For some people, like for yourself here, like being I think, I mean, for you, it's got to be a little like.
Yeah,
it's like a two-edged sword a little bit.
I'll be the first one in the door to see it, but
he'll be handing him a hologram flower right back.
I'm gonna be putting myself through something rough, and it's gonna be emotional for a lot of people just because of his lyrics and the imagery and
everything in his lyrics were so beautiful and magical. So
and obviously, I think also some of the fans are just gonna hate it.
Absolutely.
For people, everyone functions different. On that level, so. For some, it's just going to be like, nah, that's just sick, man. That's just wrong. Mm-hmm. That's just wrong.
Don't go. I'll go.
There's going to be people like that, obviously, too. But yeah.
For sure. And lastly, Jessica, with your appearance on our YouTube channel in that crowd control segment.
So random.
It was great. We were so happy to run into you. And you said something I thought that was very beautiful. And when you were describing heavy metal, you said heavy metal is the sound your heart makes when your mouth can't scream loud enough. So would you maybe tell us a little more about maybe a time when metal allowed you to scream from your heart when your mouth could not?
My whole life. That's what brought me to it. Is I was a child with a lot of responsibilities, a single parent household. I was alone a lot. I played music, and music wasn't a hobby for me. It was work. I played 8 hours a day, classical music, classical violin. I didn't get to hang out with other kids. I didn't get to go outside. I didn't get to play and do all the fun things that my friends were doing. I felt very alone. I had a lot of schoolwork. I was in an advanced school, so I was around adults most of the time. And when I played music, I was around adults. And like I said, time alone, a lot of pressure to be good, to be the best and all that. And then I heard, King Diamond Conspiracy. Mm-hmm. And it was something that was just so beautiful. It reminded me that music is beautiful. And then as I got older, I started, discovering more things like Slayer and New York hardcore and just aggressive bands that were saying everything that I was thinking. And even a band, when the first Deftones album came out, and it was just like skateboard, baggy jeans, rebellious, graffiti, all that stuff is all the things that I wanted to do or couldn't do, and all that rebellious noise, that cacophony of distorted guitars and double bass and lyrics that if my mother were to read, I would be grounded for life. If my grandmother were to read, she'd call a priest. We're not even Catholic, but she'd have one come at all that stuff that it was expressing for me the things that I couldn't do. I remember sitting on the living room floor. My grandma's watching her telenovelas, her soap operas.
Of course.
And I have headphones on, and I'm listening to The Candle. I'm like, holy shit.
That's a weird setting for that.
Oh my God. Yeah. If she only knew what's going on in my head right now.
If you put those headphones on her, immediately there would be an exorcist. She would be
like, what is this? They're speaking in English. I only speak Spanish. So it gave me, that music was my escape. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't have one. I had a very sheltered upbringing. There was no playing outside. There was no hanging out. There's no bouncy ball houses kind of things. It was just, it was in New York City. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about going from finding kind of that inner sanctuary by listening to the music to actually becoming part of the metal community? like going out to shows. I mean, it's a very tight-knit kind of brotherhood community.
Yeah, and it was exactly what I needed. I'm an only child, so I didn't really have that. And as I said before, I spent most of my time around adults, whether it was academically, taking college classes when you're 9 and 10. That puts you in a very weird position in life.
Wow.
Or playing in an orchestra where everyone is, in their 30s or 40s, stopping in to do that. And getting challenged by a 9-year-old, that puts you in another awkward position. Being able to go finally to my first maybe hardcore show, I think I was 13 or 14. My mom walked me down. All my friends from school were going. And it was a Sunday matinee. And the kids, and she looked around. She talked to the bouncer. She talked to the staff. And she felt comfortable leaving me there. And it was the first time I could be wild. It was okay to be wild. It was encouraged to be wild.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it was such a release. Screaming along, grabbing mics, running on people's faces, punching them. We used to say we're going for a walk.
I bet you had a lot of that built up by then, too.
Oh, yeah, I did. I absolutely
just
did.
Punched out 10 guys in 14 seconds.
I did. Well, my nickname is the Crusher.
Yeah.
Is that where it developed?
Kind of, yes.
At age 14.
Wow.
Because I always had to maintain this kind of, professional, conservative, academic, got it together, polite, advanced being. I didn't get to do temper tantrums and sneak out and do all that stuff. So then when I finally did get into that environment, it was so energetic and it was so raw and so real and it was full of passion from the heart. All the notes were wrong. Nobody gave a fuck. It was just everything and everything that you can think of. And there was so much happiness, even though there's fists flying and people are pushing and shoving. There was just so much joy to be there. And a release of all that stress and camaraderie that I didn't have. And then I found family, your hardcore family, your metal family. And we're still friends to this day with many people that I've met at shows when you're 14. And then we always say when you love metal, when you love hardcore, you have family around the world. And that's true, Yeah. We've gone places that we've never met people before. We only knew them maybe through computers or something like that. You go on tour, you have a place to sleep, and then vice versa when they come through here. And then we make the connections and it spider webs out and like, you're a friend of a friend and they're in trouble in Chicago. Do you know someone here that might be able to help? And you get on the phone and you help each other out. It's more than the music. It's the whole connection.
Yeah, there's a reason for the word like metal community or a hardcore community because that's basically what it is. Yeah,
it's a family. We always say that.
And it's very global, like you said. It's very global even.
And there's like an instant relationship of trust that's built there too. Like I was at a show and then there's a guy in a suffocation shirt in the parking lot asked me a question, something about re-entry. My friend was working there. I was like, hold on, let me just text him, ask if there's re-entry, and waiting a while for him. He's like, you want to come sit in the car, like drink a couple beers before the show? Total stranger, get in the car,
no
like
problem.
drink
He's
a couple
got a
beers.
suffocation shirt on.
He's good people.
He's your boy, like immediately. Like I can trust this guy. Yeah.
And there's always that thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you can keep going.
There's always that thing when you're like in the world of norms and you see someone like you wearing that King Diamond shirt walking down the street. You always got to say, nice shirt, man.
Yeah.
I did not wear this because I knew you were a King Diamond fan. I did not know that when I put that on this morning.
But I just love that. You see someone with a Meshuggah shirt, nice shirt. Always acknowledge it, even if you don't know them, even if it's for a second. That like you get
bond.
it, you understand it, you get it.
Yeah.
Like we're the same, man.
Yeah, you like do the eye thing, not even like say anything. You're like.
Look at the eyes, the quick
got
chin up in the air.
Yep.
Yeah. I know what you're about.
And
Yeah, you're one of the good ones. Yeah.
It's always nice because we do forget that we're the minority when we're always in the circles together. We're like, oh yeah, everybody's like us. But then you go out in the real world and we're still, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't even know the real world
He
yet.
doesn't go out into
but
the
I'm
real
just
world.
45 still. So I'm getting there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I might even walk out on the street today and when we leave this
the
place.
real
I don't
world,
know, maybe.
I mean, I play make-believe for a living, so obviously I'm not trying to be there at all. Ever.
Yeah, I use glasses, and those glasses actually play just old horror movies and like metal live shows. So I don't really see the world through the glasses. I just have things playing in there. Yeah.
I just do like 3-hour meditations of trying to melt reality based on Buddhist traditions, Like, nothing is here, everything is here. Rainbows, holograms, which is real? Is it real if I
Ronnie
see
James
it?
Dio hologram.
The Dio hologram.
If you see it, is it real? When is it real? What is real?
Yeah.
When is the snake a snake and just a rope?
Basically, the only thing that we know that is not a rope, but that is real, is actually Ronnie James Dio.
Yes.
He's not with us anymore, but he's still the realist.
The realest
The realist.
The realest little man you've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Real always recognizes real, for sure. I want to thank you both for coming in and spending some time with us. Truly appreciate your time so much. Meshuggah's new album, The Violent Sleep of Reason, October 7th. Go watch season 4 of Orange is the New Black. Jessica
or 1, 2, and 3 if you haven't seen
it. She's absolutely awesome. Thank you so much again. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
for
much.
having us.
Awesome.
God, that Lombardo Hoglan debate. I don't know if I can't even. I'm just dead. My brain's dead. I don't know how do you pick.
I was looking forward to doing the debate, and at the same time, I was like, how the hell am I going to argue against Gene Hoglan? Like, I could argue that they're both on the same level, but to say that one of them's better than the other, I mean, even Thomas like opened up. He's like, yeah, they're both insane drummers. Podcast over.
Yeah, it was a rough one, but it was good, man. Also, Jessica, like, I was really moved by how she was talking about what metal means to her growing up in such a very unique environment, and how it just gave her strength and comfort, and just the way she spoke about it was very moving to me.
Very impassioned.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I'm so happy that she came by and that we had her on our podcast. I mean, it was awesome. And that's it for the Loudwire Podcast today. We want to thank you so much for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Hit it. Also, check us out on iTunes. Subscribe to the podcast. Visit loudwire.com. Hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, all that stuff. You can follow me on Twitter at GrahamWire. Joe does not have a Twitter.
No Twitter.
No.
Nope. I had one a few years ago. I think I signed up for it to taunt the Seattle Seahawks for their ugly new uniforms.
Okay.
And not really much else.
All right. Do you remember? Well, do you still have it?
It might still be active. I don't think I ever deleted it.
What's the account name?
Probably Thrones of Blood. I used that for like everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, but in the end, Joe doesn't want your Twitter followers.
I give them all to Graham.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We're out. We'll see you next time.